And Mark, we have a mobile unit vaccination in town today.
Yeah, yes.
Nice.
Everybody's at that time.
Guess we'll see each other in person next week.
Yes, be good.
Nice.
As soon as you can. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
We're all set?
All set.
Great. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Committee on Transportation. We have an afternoon of work sessions and tidying up some housekeeping that we need to take care of as well. This meeting is live streamed on the committee's YouTube channel, and all participants via Zoom can be seen and heard when the mic is on. Speakers must be recognized by the chair before speaking. Meeting is also recorded and available on the committee's YouTube after the meeting is concluded. This is a work session, not a public hearing, so this is a chance for the committee to talk about the bills that have been scheduled for us to work on today. If members have somebody that they would like to talk to the committee, answer some questions, just go through the chair and we'll ask that person if they're available to answer any questions or make any comments. And votes, the votes we take on these bills, of course, must be visually verifiable, and Darlene does a good job with that. We're going to go through now and introduce ourselves, and we'll start with Senator Farren. Good afternoon, Senator Farren.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Brad Farren. I live in Norridge Walk and represent the fine people of Senate District 3, which is the majority of Somerset County.
Thank you, sir. Senator Chipman.
Not on yet.
Not here. Representative Wayne Perry.
He's having issues getting on too.
Okay. Representative Lynn Williams. I know she's here.
I am here. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm Lynn Williams. I live in Bar Harbor. I represent House District 135, which includes Bar Harbor, Mount Desert, and Lemoyne.
Thank you. Representative Dustin White. No?
Not here yet.
Representative Mike Perkins.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Mike Perkins. I represent District Number 77. That's Oakland and Sydney.
Thank you, sir. Representative Mark Bryant.
Thank you, Senator. I'm Mark Bryant. I represent House District 24, part of the town of Wyndham. Morning,
Thank you,
afternoon.
sir. Representative Bruce White.
Hello, Senator Diamond. I'm Representative Bruce White, all the way from Waterville, District 109.
Excellent. Representative Tom Martin in his vehicle.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My name is Tom Martin. I represent House District 57, which is Green and Savannah.
Thank you, sir. Representative Kevin O'Connell.
Thank you, sir. Kevin O'Connell, District 128, down close to all of the city of Brewer.
Thank you, sir. Representative Rich Sebra.
Not here.
Okay, and House Chair, Representative Danny Martin.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Danny Martin, House 150, located in northern Worcester County.
Thank you. And I'm Bill Diamond, a senator from District 26, live in Wyndham, and my town Circle Sebago Lake. We have Sam Prower and Karen Netto are our analysts today. Welcome, both of you, and thank you. And Darlene Simoneau is our committee clerk who keeps us all plugged in at the appropriate places and times. So we thank you for that. Today, we have to do one little housekeeping first. And then we have 4 bills to work on, and we have some language following that and a couple of announcements. So we're going to start with, you recall LD 796. 796 was sponsored by Senator Timberlake, and it's an act to restrict sales of catalytic converters removed from motor vehicles. And we discovered that there were a lot of pieces to this. Something probably we would need more attention than that we had time. We tabled it, the committee tabled it, so that we could find out, number one, who would like to serve on a working group to go through all these things and then report back to the committee next session. We did get a list of people who contacted Sam, and as the committee seen that list, I just got mine, Sam. Committee members have the list yet?
I have not sent it out to the full committee yet, but I can send it out. I can also read you who's on the list right now if you like.
Why don't you do that, Sam? That'd be great.
All right. So we heard for people who requested to be on the list, we heard from Tom Brown of Maine Auto Dealers Association. We've heard from Bruce Garrity of Petty Flaherty, and I believe that's also representing Maine Auto Dealers. We've heard from Maine Auto Recyclers Association. They did not designate a specific person, but that they wanted to be part of this discussion. We heard from, I hope I pronounced his name correctly, Andreas Heiss of LKQ Corporation. And we also heard from the National Auto Recyclers Association, who wanted to be involved but did not designate a particular person.
Thank you, Sam. So in a case like this, ordinarily what we would do, we'd have two choices. We could put it in a study committee and apply for a study committee that has to go through the legislative council, and then they will approve it or not approve it. But if we have a working group, which is what we're suggesting, we met with the chairs and leads, and we felt that it would be better if we had a working group. Therefore, the group would be no legislators officially on the committee, but the group can get together and we have a good beginning of 5 people, and they can hammer it out and talk about it and meet with whomever they want, but just come back to the committee next session and tell us what they've come up with. So that's the proposal, that's the idea, and I'd like to hear from the committee members the direction that you'd like to take with this. Hold on, I got to get my participants in. Is that a comfortable way to approach this? Everybody okay with that? If it is, it sounds like Representative Bruce White.
Yeah, I think it sounds like a really, good idea to pursue it and get some of the pros and cons and hear more info next session. I'd support this.
Okay.
So do we need a motion to take this?
Yeah, we would need a motion to carry over. That keeps the bill alive, and then we'll send a letter from the committee to the people of interest who are interested, and then that will get it initiated, and they can do their thing.
I'd be happy to make that motion.
Motion's made to carry over LD 796 for the purposes of a working group to report back to the committee the second regular session of the 130th. Is there a second for that motion?
I'll second.
Thank you. That's a second. Discussion. Questions? Seeing none, Darlene, it's up to you.
Okay, Senator Diamond,
Yes.
Representative Martin,
Yes.
Senator Farren,
Yes.
Representative Perkins,
Yes.
Representative Perry. He's not on yet. Representative Williams,
Yes.
Representative Dustin White, not on. Representative Bryant,
Yes.
Representative Bruce White,
Yes.
Representative Tom Martin,
Yes.
Representative O'Connell,
Yes.
and Senator Chipman.
Yes,
Okay, you could hear us.
got it.
Okay,
Thank you. So those numbers were?
10 in the affirmative, 3 absent.
You said 9?
10.
10?
Yep.
3 absent. The motion prevails. This bill will 796 will be carried over. And the letter from the committee notifying people they may get to work. Next is, we'll now open up a work session on LD 990.
Mr. Chair, I think Sam had a question.
Sam? I didn't see that. Oh, yes. Okay. Sam, go ahead.
It's all good. I just wanted to double check with the committee if there was anyone else you wanted me to include in the letter in addition to the groups that were here, such as like someone from law enforcement or something like that. Just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing anybody.
If you have a suggestion, you'll wait a couple days, correct, Sam, before you finalize the letter? I mean,
I will bring it back so people can see it before it's sent out.
if you don't have somebody right at this moment that you'd like to think should be included, it seems to me the state police ought to be involved, but there'd be some other people that if you'd like to have, we can actually do that. Darlene?
Representative Perry just jumped on. Can I get his vote?
Oh, yes, Representative Perry, we voted to carry over Senator Timberlake's bill so we could spend appropriate time with appropriate people going through the minutiae of all of that.
Which one was that?
That was 796,
Catalytic converters.
catalytic converters.
So that's not on today's schedule.
That was, we tabled that bill. We just brought it off the
Oh,
table.
okay. Yeah, no, that sounds fine.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Very good. So if anybody has any other names, that would be, just contact Sam, and because it's obviously not limited. We want everybody to be included, and they could be anyway. So but give us a name if you need it or names. Sam, anything else?
So that's it. I will review the letter with you before it gets sent out. So
Thank you.
everyone will get the final copy.
Perfect. All right, so we're back to LD 990. This was the day that I was gone, so I missed the conversation. So I may have to rely on some other people to help me out to figure out if I have any questions. So I appreciate that. It's an act regarding veterans license plates. Discussion. Sam, anything you want to? Excuse me.
Karen.
Karen, I'm
you
sorry.
Yeah.
We just did a shift, right? That was a quick one. too.
Yeah, I know, we didn't tell you. I mean, I can quickly go over my bill analysis or,
I mean, just a brief reminder of what it was. It was just that short time ago, so.
sure. So the sponsor, Senator Rosen, is the sponsor of the bill. So this bill proposes to allow a veteran who applies for a special veterans registration plate for a passenger vehicle or a motorcycle to pay the registration fee only once for the first set of plates issued. And then any additional issuance of plates requires payment of the fee annually. So there was no testimony in favor of the bill other than from the sponsor herself, who said she submitted the bill on behalf of a constituent who believes strongly that veterans deserve a break when it comes for paying for the registration fees. There was no testimony in opposition, and then we did hear testimony neither for nor against from the Bureau of Motor Vehicles. They said that there are approximately 50,202 veterans registration plates that would fall within the scope of this bill. So potentially the fiscal impact could be if there are that many plates not subject to the annual renewal fee, the revenue loss could be approximately 1.7 million annually. And the Bureau did bring up the fact that there's no easy way to within their program to distinguish between what veterans registration plate falls under the one-time registration category versus the other plates that may be subject for the yearly fee. So anytime you need to do that sort of programming, and the Bureau's database, and also the Bureau would have to take into consideration that they have 3 independent vendor systems that the municipal partners use. So I guess in a nutshell, what they were trying to say is that, you know, making these changes to the BMV's database and those of the vendor systems could be time consuming and possibly costly. So, and we had not received a preliminary fiscal note for it, but we did hear an estimate from the Bureau.
Thank you, Karen. Questions of Karen? Senator Farren.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Not really a question for Karen, but as a co-sponsor of this bill, and I talked to Senator Rosen this morning, and also serving on VLA, right? We're trying to prioritize some bills this session additional VSO officers, mental health programs, and it's really easy to try to prioritize where those are. And with that being said, and realizing that there is some fiscal note attached with this and the challenges that we're having with the highway fund and finding money and everything else, I think just now's not the time. I know other states have done this and I applaud that. But I just don't know if now is the right time for that for us in the state of Maine with the fiscal piece we have and prioritizing other veterans issues. So with that being said, I'm going to make a motion of ought not to pass.
Second.
Motion is made by Senator Farren, ought not to pass, seconded by Representative Perry. Discussion. So on VLA, you are in fact dealing with several veterans issues, Senator Farren?
Yes, Senator Diamond, a couple priorities of funding a couple additional VSO officers and also making a pilot program that dealt with mental health issues for our veterans, a permanent program with DHHS. So yeah, we're trying to prioritize which ones take the lead.
And Senator Rosen was understanding of that and supported that?
Absolutely. I'm not always afraid, but I double checked with the good senator before I told her that I was going to be making a motion of ought not to pass this afternoon.
All right. The motion's been made and seconded. Discussion. Representative Bruce White.
Yeah, thank you, Senator Diamond. I think these are always difficult. You know, there's nobody, you know, we all here obviously support our veterans. These are always difficult decisions. And I, you know, thank Senator Farren for expressing it, you know, why he made that motion. And, you know, again, it's just difficult to not support veterans in this way, but because of the complications and what we heard from BMV, I think it makes sense to, you know, hold off on this. But we certainly want to express our appreciation to all veterans.
Thank you, Representative White. Well said. Further discussion? Motion's made and seconded, ought not to pass. Darlene?
Senator Diamond,
Yes.
Representative Martin,
Yes.
Senator Farren,
Yes.
Representative Perkins,
Yes.
Representative Perry,
Yes.
Representative Williams,
Yes.
Representative Dustin White, not here, Senator Chipman,
Yes.
Representative Bryant,
Yes.
Representative Bruce White,
Yes.
Representative Tom Martin,
Yes.
Representative O'Connell,
Yes.
and Representative Seaver, I don't see. So it's 11 in the affirmative and 2 absent.
Motion ought not to pass prevails 11-0 to 2 being absent. So we'll close the work session on LD 990. We'll open up the work session on LD 1104, which is an act to increase the time for which a temporary motor vehicle registration plate is valid, presented by Senator Farren of Somerset. Karen, I think are you doing us?
Yes.
Yes.
The rest of the bills this afternoon.
Okay, very good.
Yep. So this is a pretty straightforward bill. It increases from 14 to 30 the number of days a person may operate a motor vehicle or a trailer with a temporary registration plate without payment of a regular registration plate fee. So we did hear testimony in favor of the bill from the Maine Automobile Dealers Association and Maine Municipal Association. I think Senator Farren, the sponsor of the bill, said that he had heard from auto dealers who expressed concerns with the current titling system deadline. And of course, you just voted on that resolve to convene an electronic titling work group, and I'll have that amendment for you to review later this afternoon. But the problem that this bill would address is primarily driven by the inability of dealerships to receive titles on used vehicles from lien holders who are mostly national financial institutions in a timely manner. And Maine Automobile Field Dealers Association did appreciate that this proposed change may slightly delay some of the registrations and related payment of municipal excise tax, but that the municipalities would still receive the appropriate amounts, and in most cases within the same calendar month. And in fact, as I just said, Maine Municipal testified in support of this. They feel that this bill will provide a more adequate length of time for an individual to navigate the multi-step process involved with registering a vehicle for the first time. So there was no testimony in opposition, and Bureau Motor Vehicles testified neither for nor against. And they basically said they don't see that this bill would have a negative impact on the operations of a dealer licensing section. They also don't see that this would have a negative impact on the consumer. And in fact, it may give them more time to prepare for registering their vehicle. So they did say, well, right now, current law is that the dealer pays $1 for a temporary plate. And in most cases, this cost is passed on to the consumer at the time of sale. So unless you amend the bill in some way, the cost would remain $1, and the dealer would just increase the expiration date written on the plate. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Questions, Karen, Representative Perry?
Not really a question for Karen, but I think this is a wonderful idea, and I make a motion ought to pass.
Motion is made, ought to pass. Is there a second?
I would
Second,
second that.
Second, 2 seconds. That's good. Thank you very much. Now discussion. Discussion, questions?
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. This is one of those good bills, and quite frankly, I was a little surprised that MMA supported it, and that is much appreciated. And I fully intend to vote for this piece of legislation. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. We have other people here. If you want more questions answered, Mr. Brown is here, Mr. Gumet is here. So, but it looks like everybody, no questions? Seeing none. Darlene?
Senator Diamond,
Yes.
Representative Danny Martin,
Yes.
Senator Farren,
This is a tough one. Yay.
Representative Perkins,
Yes.
Senator Chipman,
Yes.
Representative Perry,
Yes.
Representative Williams,
Yes.
and Representative Dustin White, not here yet. Representative Bryant,
Yes.
Representative Bruce White,
yes.
Representative Tom Martin,
Yes.
and Representative O'Connell.
Yes.
And I don't see Representative Seabra. So 11 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, and 2 absent.
Motion ought to pass, 11-0 with 2 absent prevails. Thank you very much. We'll close the work session on LD 1104. We'll now open up the work session on 1109, an act to align equipment requirements for electric bicycles with national manufacturing standards, presented by Senator Daughtry of Cumberland. Karen?
So this bill restricts the speedometer requirement for electric bicycles to Class 3 electric bicycles to, as the title says, align with national manufacturing standards. So typically, the Class 3 electric assist bicycles are the only ones that come built-in speedometers. So this bill just aligns Maine law with national bike manufacturing standards. And it looks like this committee, you did a lot of work in the 129th with electric bicycles. So this is probably just an oversight in the original language. And proponents of the bill just says this bill that the mandate in current law is unnecessary and it complicates things for the small bike shops that carry electric assist bicycles. There was no testimony in opposition and no testimony neither for nor against. And that's all I have.
Thank you very much. Questions of Karen? Senator Chipman?
Don't have any questions. I just wanted to make a motion about to pass.
Motion is made ought to pass. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Discussion. Questions. Seeing none, Darlene, it's up to you.
Senator Diamond,
Yes.
Representative Danny Martin,
Yes.
Senator Farren,
Yes.
Representative Perkins,
Yeah.
Senator Chipman,
Yes.
Representative Perry,
Yes.
Representative Williams,
Yes.
Representative Dustin White, absent. Representative Bryant,
Yes.
Representative Bruce White,
Yes.
Representative Tom Martin,
Yes.
Representative O'Connell,
Yes.
and Representative Seabra, absent. So 11 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, and 2 absent.
Motion not to pass, 11 in the affirmative, 0 in negative prevails. And we'll close the public hearing on LD 1109. Just a announcement, LD 1230 was scheduled for today, but the representative sponsor, her husband she has some medical issues she had to deal with today, so she asked if we could just put this off one day and one time, so we certainly wanted to accommodate that. The next bill is LD 1110. 1110 is an act to clarify the authority to manage electric bicycle access to off-road trails, presented by Senator Daughtry of Cumberland. Karen.
Thank you. So current law says that a class 1 or class 2 electric bicycle may not be operated on a bicycle path designated for non-motorized traffic if significant portions of the bicycle path have a natural surface, including gravel, stones, or wooden bridging, unless authorized by the municipality, local authority, or governing body of a public agency that has jurisdiction over the bicycle path. So what this bill proposes to do is rephrase that provision so that a class 1 or class 2 electric bicycle may be operated on a bicycle path or trail designated for non-motorized traffic at the discretion of the municipality, local authority, or governing body of a public agency that has jurisdiction over the bicycle path or trail. So we heard from proponents that there's some, I guess, they feel there's an ambiguity with the current law that e-bikes are being ridden on trails across Maine, and they're hoping that this bill clarifies that. So, and we heard from other proponents that e-bikes are inclusive to all riders. So if you don't pass this bill, you're discriminating against people who are older and have disabilities. But opponents of the bill, including Maine Municipal Association, municipal officials feel that they already have the authority on paths and trails that are limited to bicycle traffic under existing law, and they would prefer not to have explicit inclusion for electric bikes on paths where there's a clear need to balance pedestrian and bicycle traffic. And there was no testimony neither for nor against. So, I'm not sure if it clarifies, but one thing that I did notice is that it adds the word trail to the language, and the lead in to that paragraph talks about that it governs the operation of electric bicycles on bicycle and multi-use paths and other bikeways, and bicycle paths have the same definition of bikeways it's already defined in section 2322. I guess what I'm trying to say is that adding the word trails may actually add confusion to the provision, because that seems to be adding another element to this. I'll leave it at that. We did receive the preliminary fiscal impact statement, and there is none. So there's no fiscal note required if you move forward with it.
Thank you. Questions of Karen? Senator Chipman?
No questions. I would make a motion ought to pass as amended removing the word trail, just so we don't have that confusion, but I think it makes sense to pass this bill to clarify this, and it is an optional, from what I understand, for the municipalities to opt to do this or not. So I think it makes sense.
Motion is made, ought to pass as amended. Is there a second? Failing of a second, we will go on to further discussion. Representative Perry.
Yeah, Karen, just real quick. So you were saying that the towns and cities feel that they already have this authority. So this bill really isn't needed.
I see Rebecca Graham is in the attendees. That might be a more appropriate question for her, but I basically just paraphrased her testimony.
Okay. No, that's what I thought I remember, but.
Why don't we, that's a good point, Representative Perry. Why don't we ask Ms. Graham to maybe explain that again? I'd appreciate it since I wasn't here, so that others would like to have an update too.
Thank you, Senator Diamond. Yes, it is our assessment that we already have this authority, and we already do post explicitly where there are municipal trails, the allowable operation of those vehicles where they are appropriate.
Well, Senator Farren, you have a question?
Question. And so this is one of those ones for me personally, where I look at the municipalities already have the jurisdiction to do this, and we keep opening it up and broadening, right? We're really protective of trails and paths for pedestrians and non-motorized use, and then we open up to certain levels and it keeps growing. And I really think the folks closest to the trails, they have to maintain them, they have to post them, they have to monitor them, and we expect them to do that. And I'm going to make a motion of ought not to pass.
Motion is made, ought not to pass. Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion, Senator Chipman.
I'd like to know if we could hear from Jim Tassi. He's in the break in the waiting room, and I believe he's with the Bicycle Coalition of Maine. I'd like to just hear what he has to say in response to what we just heard from Ms. Graham about municipalities still having the option to do this or not, and ask why we, would still need this bill. If you could maybe offer some clarification for
that. Mr. Tassi, are you available?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, we can't see you yet, but we can.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with my video. I apologize for that.
No problem. No problem. You heard the question. You also heard the response that Ms. Graham gave us. So the question and any other questions would be, if they already can do it, why do we need to do this?
Well, the law was written the way it was in 2019 because at that time, the New England Mountain Bike Association was very anti the use of electric assist bicycles on mountain bike trails. And, our primary goal in 2019 was to get this, this device regulated under Maine law and not to create another fight with a different group. Since 2019, the position of both NEMBA and, land managers across the state has kind of evolved because people are learning. And let me emphasize that this is all about mountain bike trails, not multi-use paths, where the other provisions in the law already kind of regulate that. But this is specific to mountain bike trail networks. Both NEMBA and, as I said, the kind of general consensus about the use of electric assist bicycles, class 1s in particular, on mountain bike trails is that they have no more impact than a normal bicycle, an unassisted bicycle. And the problem with the current law is that it makes people who are using electric assist bicycles, and in many cases on trail systems where the trail manager may be indifferent to that use, they are technically in violation of the law. And the idea behind this change is that it would, encourage these trail managers to make their position clearer. Right now, no one's making it clear whether they're open or closed. We feel that this change will make those trail managers that would prefer not to see this use on their property post signage informing users of that. And the idea here is to, sort of avoid making an entire class of users who are, just ignorant of this provision from becoming violators of the state law, and to encourage landowners to more clearly post whether or not they would like to have these devices used on their property. They've been used for several years now in Maine. We've heard no e-bike specific incidents or problems associated with their use on mountain bike trails at all. Thank you.
Just a follow-up, as I may.
So hold on. So, Mr. Tassi, what you said was what your belief is that without this law, there would be a violation of the current law without this change?
I mean, technically, yes. If you're riding a class 1 e-bike on a mountain bike trail under the current law, if it has not been clearly posted as open, it's technically a violation. And the idea is that no one regulates anything by saying, you can do this here. The typical form of regulation is to say, this activity is prohibited. And I was speaking with Lieutenant Scott this morning, and he made a similar point in that, if it's not really specifically spelled out in state law, the assumption is that it would be permitted, and that's typically the way in which things are regulated. They are permitted until they are sort of identified as not permitted.
Senator Chipman, thank you.
So just to clarify, so without this, it's kind of up in the air, it's not clear, and technically you're saying would be prohibited, but if we pass this, it would be clear that it is allowed unless the municipalities pass a local ordinance that would prohibit it. So there'd still be an option for them to do that.
Absolutely. And it wouldn't even need to be an ordinance. I mean, I speak with personal experience here. I'm on the Conservation Commission in Cape Elizabeth. I manage in part the trail system that we have here. And we could simply say, this use is not permitted. I don't think you would need to pass an ordinance to do this. I think it could be like a committee policy decision. But yes, the municipality would still have absolute authority to do that, as would any, private entity, which they have anyway.
Thank you. Representative White, Bruce White.
Right. Thank you, Senator Diamond. Did I hear correctly, though, in saying that it hasn't really been a problem? Because so we aren't finding people being thrown off trails or town offices being in contact constantly. So to me, if it isn't really, if there's been no issues, I don't see why we need to make any change personally. But I understand, though, your concerns at the same time, but I appreciate your thoughts.
Well, if I can respond, yes. The fact that there have been no complaints is, in my opinion, the rationale for changing the law, because technically these people are violating a state law by doing something that's not causing any problems at all. And so just simply removing that technical illegality, I think you support these riders who can't ride an unassisted bicycle. You just put the authority clearly in the hands of the municipality to regulate these mountain bike trails. And it really, it hasn't proven to be a problem thus far, but to me, I'm just uncomfortable with the idea of someone being technically in violation with state law just for innocently riding their bicycle on a trail. And I'd like to change that provision in law.
Thank you. Representative Danny Martin.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Question to Ms. Graham. I'm assuming, or I gathered that this discussion appeared before your Legislative Policy Committee. Is that correct? And your opposition is based on the fact that you believe, in your opinion, that the municipal officials currently have that authority built in their powers. If that's the case, is the opposition also based on redundancy?
Thank you, Representative Martin. The opposition that I heard at our Legislative Policy Committee was twofold. One, that placing those specific classes of bikes within that statute would create a positive obligation on communities to allow them, and they felt like they would be pressured into allowing them where they had disallowed them. And then the flip side of that was the balance of how they are already trying to juggle. They have, or at least our officials on the policy committee did report that they had received some complaints about e-bikes operating on mixed use paths, that they were fielding those. Nothing that rise to any sort of enforcement level, but they did get complaints about those types of bikes on those paths where they were allowed already. So they thought it might exacerbate that and kind of interfere with their ability to balance where those are appropriate and where they aren't. They also said that they were already noticing on those trails where they were permitted, and we did not get into the nuance between a mountain bike trail versus a public path that would be municipally owned. So.
Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Perry.
Yeah, I mean, it just sounds to me that the towns have the ability to do this already. And if we were to pass this law, we would be forcing the towns to make a policy where policies aren't needed. So I think if people want to do this, they can go to their community and say, is it okay if we do this? And they can do it. To make policy all over the state for something that I think is more of a local issue, I couldn't support that. So I just think that the towns have the ability, the cities have the ability to do this now, to regulate it, and we should leave it just the way it is.
Thank you, Senator Chipman.
I mean, the towns have the ability to allow e-bikes, but if they don't do anything under current state law, they're prohibited on some of these trails. And even though that law is not being enforced, more and more people are starting to use e-bikes as a way to get around. And I'd like to be more proactive and not wait for someone to start enforcing that, and rather say it's going to be okay according to the state. And then if the town wants to make an ordinance against it, they can do that. So I can't support the current motion the way it's been proposed.
Other questions from the committee, other comments, clarifications? Anything else, Mr. Tassi, that you want to add?
As I said, I'd just like to see, basically decriminalizing the act of riding an e-assist bike on a mountain bike trail. It's happening every day in Maine, and I'm uncomfortable with the idea that, we've got a whole class of users who are being, found in technical violation of the law, even though that law is not being enforced. I think this is an easy change to make that really won't change the situation much at all. The other option would be to simply delete that entire provision and let the rest of the statute govern usage.
Thank you. Ms. Graham, anything else that you might have left out you'd like to add?
I would just add that municipalities tend to post where they aren't wanted, as has already been indicated. And it sounds to me like there may be actually a private path issue here that Mr. Tassi might need to get at. And if it's private mountain biking paths that maybe are an issue, maybe there's a way to think about tweaking the language to address that.
Okay, thank you. Representative White, Bruce White.
Yes, thank you. And this actually is from Ms. Graham as well. And you just mentioned about the posting. And that was my question. Do you feel the towns and cities would now have to go out and post more trails for, like, say this one is okay, this one is not, and it would just create a lot of extra work? Is that?
I think it may create work where there hasn't been a need to at this point in time. I think where there are conflicts of that usage is where you find most of the posting. So there is already a typical municipal response where there is an issue for that community to decide together how to address that issue. So they aren't going to be posting areas that don't have those issues. And maybe that's a bad thing in Mr. Tassi's opinion, but in most ways it may be an indicator that everything is fine as well. But yes, if they would have to go and post every single trail, as I'm understanding the language to indicate.
Thank you. Karen.
I just wanted to point out that this does not apply to private land. It just applies to municipality, local authority or governing body of a public agency that has jurisdiction over the bike path or trail. So for example, if there's a land trust that has mountain bike trails that wouldn't apply to them.
Thank you for that. That's clarifying. Other questions, comments from the committee? Representative Danny Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I want to make sure that I fully understand, that we all fully understand the motion. The motion is ought not to pass, and that's based on the current bill as currently written, correct?
That's as I understand it. Karen, that's how we have it before us? Yes. Ought not to pass as the bill stands right now. Further questions, comments? Darlene, it's up to you.
Senator Diamond,
Yes.
Representative Danny Martin,
Yes.
Senator Farren,
Yes.
Representative Perkins,
Yes.
Senator Chipman,
No.
Representative Perry,
Yes.
Representative Williams,
Yes.
Representative Dustin White, not here. Representative Bryant,
Yes.
Representative Bruce White,
Yes.
Representative Tom Martin,
Yes.
Representative O'Connell,
Yes.
and Representative Seabra is absent. 10 in the affirmative, 1 in the negative, and 2 absent. And is that ought to pass as amended?
It was
Senator
ought not
Chipman?
to pass. Oh, yeah, Senator Chipman.
Yeah, that would be ought to pass as amended.
Minus the word trail, like you
Yep.
said before.
Okay,
Senator Chipman, is that minus the word trail?
I'll just go out to pass with the way the bill is. I mean, it's probably not going to pass anyway, but I don't want to support the motion of ought not to pass. So.
Okay,
okay. So just straight ought to pass. I'm happy to draft an amendment.
No, just straight out to
Okay.
pass.
Okay,
Thank you.
so the vote 11-0, excuse me, 11-1, sorry. And this ought not to pass prevails. Karen, you have some language for us to review on 645 and 662.
yes, I do. So I did send it to you, or it's posted on the committee's webpage, and I just sent you the link. So I have 645. This is the majority report. It was a divided report. Ought to pass as amended, ought not to pass as the minority. So it's the committee amendment to 645, resolve to create an electronic titling work group. So what it does is changes the composition of the work group. We heard from the Bureau of Motor Vehicles to they suggested striking the representative from a national organization that develops standards and guidance for electronic titling systems, since the new Deputy Secretary of State, Kathy Curtis, has that expertise. And instead, you replace that with a representative of a statewide organization representing commercial motor carriers. We heard from Maine Motor Transport Association that they'd be happy to help out with this work group. And then the second piece was, I believe, Representative Perry's suggestion, adding to the duties, examining security measures related to a paperless electronic titling program. So that's that amendment. Are there any questions?
Questions of Karen? Thank you.
And then the second one I have is the committee amendment to 662. This was a unanimous report. An act to provide chiefs of police the discretion to allow the use of light bars on emergency vehicles. So what the amendment does, it strikes that title and says an act to allow the use of an additional light on the roof of vehicles of active members of a municipal or volunteer fire department. And so the amendment strikes everything after that title and replaces with section 1 of the amendment. You've seen most of this already, but the additional change is that the light bar would be no more than 8 inches in length. So it reads, in addition to the lights authorized under this subparagraph, the municipal officers or municipal official designated by the municipal officers with the approval of the fire chief may authorize an active member of a municipal or volunteer fire department to use one red light bar no more than 8 inches in length on the roof of the vehicle so the light is visible to approaching traffic from the front and the rear of the vehicle. Any questions?
Questions for Karen on these, the wording? Pretty much what we, not pretty much, it is what we talked about, so. All right, thank you, Karen.
Welcome.
A couple notes. We are starting next week, because this Thursday we have work sessions on several bills. And then the 27th, next Tuesday, we have several public hearings. We're trying to get this wrapped up. We're going in on the 28th, of course, and then the 29th. Hopefully we get out so that we can come back into committee on Thursday. So we're going to be starting the highway budget on Thursday, and we're going to try to wrap it up on Friday, the 30th. We've been able to avoid Fridays all session, but we're going to 9 o'clock Friday morning. We're going to do the hopefully finish the highway fund budget. So I'm telling you that in advance, so you'll know. And then the following week, we hope to complete the work of the committee, which will mean we'll be having probably several public hearings and work sessions. So please plan on Friday at 9. We should be able, hopefully we'll be out by noon to get that done. And then after that, we have one more week that we think we can do all of our work and finish up. Chairman Martin. Anything to add? You're on.
Mr. Chair, I would defer to Senator Chipman.
Okay, Senator Chipman.
Just wanted to clarify, we don't have anything this Friday, but it's Friday of next week.
That's correct. It'll be 4:30, 4-30.
Yep, great, thank you.
You're welcome. Representative Martin, did you have anything?
Nothing to add, Mr. Chair, but I just want to share with you, you did good, and I think you broke my record.
Wasn't intentional. We thought we were going to be here a lot longer, believe me. Sometimes it's like superintendents of schools calling off school because of snow. You just can't win on them. But Representative Perry, you know what that's like. So Representative Perry, yes.
Yeah, just real quick, you mentioned something about 4:30. What was, I had to step out of the room for a second.
Oh, April 30th, next Friday, we're gonna do that, hopefully finish up the highway budget. And we'll be into it on Thursday, the day prior, but I just letting anybody know that for the first time, we have to do a Friday. because
Okay.
we're running-
Unless we get it all done on Thursday?
Yeah, unless we get it all done on Thursday.
9:00 a.m. Friday.
9 a.m., please. $900, as Senator Farron would say. Anything else? Karen, anything you have? Nope. Okay. I think we're all set to go. And so we'll see you all Thursday and jump into several work session bills and get that piece cleaned up as well. Thank you all for your diligence and your work. Appreciate everybody being here.
Okay, we'll see you Thursday.
See you Thursday.
Bye.
Quiet, nice background. He changed it.
Who did?